All right, all right. What's going on, party people? This your man, Griff. Oh boy, I tell you, man. All right, I'm just trying to pull some more stuff up here. Um, it is wow. All right, ripping and running all over the place. Um, where is this information? I think it's here, and I think it is here. All right, there it is. There it is. There it is. All right, what's going on, party people? Hey, hit the like button. Check my microphone because I did not check that before. Check one, check one. All right, yep. Ooh, wrong mic. Yeah. All right, check, check. There we go. Whew, had the wrong mic plugged in there. All right, so that should sound better. All right, let me check it over here. Yep, that sounds good. That sounds good. All right, yeah. Good evening, Caprinis. Welcome to all of y'all. Yeah, thanks for hitting the like and subscribe button. Hit the like button so everybody know we out here doing what we do. I'm gonna try to make sure I'm not talking too loud. The missus, she's asleep. So she be getting on me because I be making too much noise sometimes and stuff. So how's everybody week been? Talk to me. How y'all week been? So far this week has been good for me. Let me see what I've done because I really haven't taken time out to look to see. So this week from the 3rd through the 9th is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20. All right. And that's with all these cancellations and stuff. So 20. And then taking an account for last week, the first day of the month last week. So that's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So I'm at 25 between the first and tomorrow, the 9th. And then if I add in next week, and then that's 25, 26, 27, 28 through the 12th. And anything after that right now. Okay, and then I got one on the 19th. Okay. So 28 right now between the first and the 15th. That's good. Would like to see that a little bit higher, to be honest with you, closer to 40. I would love to see that at hopefully by the 15th I'm at 40. So I do have I got space in there. I got space, to put it in there. So what's going on, Jess? Oh, Jess done rolled up in here. What's going on, Smokey IT? All right. So, um, that's right. Welcome to full time. Yeah. Welcome to full time. I tell you, boy, it is being full time in this business, depending on the state that you're in. It can be, or it could be, or it could be, but nonetheless, if you work through it, oh man, the reward is just fantastic. So I've been happy with what I've been doing. I just love it, and it ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's no joke being full time. So I forgot to set. I always forget to set my share screen up. So again, thanks for hitting the like button, hitting the share, all that good stuff. Um, Let me see here. Hit present. All right. Let me pull that up. Let me turn on that. All right. Okay. So what we got here, y'all. So we're gonna let me do a quick little introduction about what we're going to talk about tonight. Um, the big thing is this. I was sitting back thinking, I said, a lot of notaries who I talk to haven't taken time out to even try to understand their notary laws. They're like just trying to, they're just trying to do something, but they don't want to take time out to know the notary laws. And they're looking for somebody to just tell them all of what they're supposed to be doing. Do this, do that. The bigger issue is that the vast majority of the people who you're listening to aren't in your state. That's just the truth of the matter. And there's a lot of trainers that are in the Maryland, Florida, Texas, and California realm, as well as probably New York. And you don't really, and if you're not in those states, you could be getting the wrong information. So all it takes is for you to take a little time out and research and pull up your notary laws and ask some questions. Granted, not all Secretary of States are fluent in the notary laws. Not all of them are willing to, talk to you about it or help you understand it. But for the most part, if you have a sixth grade education, you should be able to understand basic information about the notary laws and everything. Oh, we got to stop. Hold on. What is it? Hi, everyone. I did my first signing. It was a loan modification. Just can't get accepted to do much with the signing service. I'm continuing to do field agent, photographer regularly. Okay. Well, look, you got that loan modification. You're going to get more. Just hang in there and just always be on the ready. I'm telling you, always be on the ready. You just never know when things will change for you. So don't don't get discouraged, which I don't believe you are. So stay encouraged, stay positive, and just know that it's going to come. So you got the loan modification. Update your profile to denote that, hey, I've gotten a signing, I've done a loan modification or something to that effect. Put it in there so that way people will know you've been selected to do work and you've actually done the work. So I'm happy for you. I really, really, really am. And then, hey, what's going on, party people? So you got to first know, and this is with anything, you think about it. When you go to your W 2, they have an orientation. You sit there, and that person pulls out a book. They pull out a book, and it is your company's handbook that talks to you about the company's culture, their do's, their don'ts, all of that stuff. How they operate, how they function. Here's what you do if in these situations. Here's how you handle the good, the bad, the ugly. So the person who's educating you is somebody within that realm, and they actually are focusing you on what the company wants. Okay. When you look at the notary business, that's not happening. They are focusing you on what these other entities want, and those entities might want something that's opposite of what your state wants. So as a notary, you have to first lean on what your state wants, and then everybody else who comes to you does what if is what you want me to do in line with what my state wants me to do. Now, the issue is that not too many states are having these meetings where we're going to just teach you and hand feed you or spoon feed you every single thing you need to know so that no matter what happens, you'll know everything. But what they have is a notary handbook. They have a handbook that you can read and you should be able to comprehend that this is what you can and cannot do under the guidelines of your state's notary laws. But the person that you're coming across online is not necessarily addressing it that way. They're just telling you this generalized thing of here's how you can make money. Here's how you can scale. Here's how you can expand. I know scale, expand, probably the same thing. But you see what I'm saying? And you're like, okay, cool. But then when you get the daggone documents and you look at the notarial certificate, you're saying, what? I don't know what to do with this. How do I fill this out? What goes where? Does my name go here? or does their name go here? You don't know. But all the training you've taken, all the materials that you've received from them, none of it points you to doing it the way your state says. Now they say, oh, well, then you need to go to your state. But you told me to come to you first. You told me to come to you, Mr. and Miss Trainer. I came to you, but now you're telling me go back to my state and figure this the real deal out, figure out how to do my job. So I paid you hopefully to learn how to do my job, but you just taught me how to do some marketing, some advertising, some go here, go there, Canva, but I don't know how to do the job because the thing is, there's a high chance that you could get pulled into doing a notarial job before you ever get solidified and solid up here in your mind on how to do the job. You can post a Canva thing, an Instagram post, TikTok, and then somebody say, hey, yeah, I want to use you because they might like your presence. They might not know, they might not even remember anything in your post, but they just look at you and say, you look what you seem very trusting. Yeah, come on. And then you get there, you have the external look, but internally up here and in here, you have no confidence. You don't know, have no knowledge of how to actually do the job. That's why personally, I encourage people to learn how to do the job first. Make sure you understand what you're supposed to do as a notary. Get that solidified, then you market. Because you yourself, if you went to a restaurant that talked about how they got all this fantastic food, but the cooks don't know how to cook, they can't even boil water, you have a problem with that. So if you will have a problem with somebody marketing to you or your family that, hey, this is what we have, this is what we can do for you, come over here. And then when you get there, they really can't come through. What's going on with the cruise industry? All of these people having these, hey, here's how you these cruises, and they got y'all heard about the thing with the lady had this travel business for black women. We gonna do cruises and stuff for black women, and then all of a sudden she's like, okay, I'm shutting it down. Y'all heard about the cruise lady who was sitting there setting up cruises for people. The people get there and they're being told you can't come on board the ship. They look up and they see the person who they bought the tickets from on the ship and leaving while they're on the pier. So people talk a good game, but they can't actually execute it. So I'm trying to encourage y'all. Don't be in the mode of being able to talk a good game with your Canva, with your Instagram posts and your and all of your marketing and your TikTok and all of that, and going around giving people bottles of waters and all of that kind of stuff, and giving them pins with your business name on it and all that. No, 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 no. To me, before you market, you really need to make sure you understand how to do the job of a notary. You need to make sure you understand make sure you know what a notary is supposed to do in accordance with your state law. So that when you go out there and if somebody says, well, you know what, we got something right now. You can do it. You don't want to market something that you can't do. And then when they ask you to do it, you're pooping on yourself. And you're like, oh, snap. Oh, you mean like right now? Yeah, yeah. You said you're a notary. Well, yeah, but no, 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 no. You came here saying you know that you should know this before you get here. And ladies, you know that, but with the hair, you go to the person and you want a front lace, they better know how to put a front lace in. You want some color, they need to know how to do color. Whatever you're trying to get done to your head, they better know how to do it. Guys, you want that beard trim? They do better know how to use a razor instead of having you looking, coming in there acting like Edward Scissors hands and slicing you all up. Whatever service you're trying to provide, you need to know how to do it. And too much in this business, there are people who are telling you come into business, but they don't ever help you to understand how to do the business. And I'm not talking about the market, I'm talking about actually the notarizations. And if y'all feel what I just said, all that whole little soliloquy, put a one in the chat. If you've experienced that or you understand it or see that, put a one in the chat concerning not knowing how to do the business, but yet you're ready to market the business and you're going to spend all kinds of money on marketing, but you haven't learned how to notarize your way out of a paper bag, as they will say it. You know I've seen it across the board, and it is not a fun sight. When I get the phone calls, the text messages, the emails, person panicking, all of that. And it's just a shame that that is happening. So we're gonna talk about some notary law stuff, and I'm gonna point y'all because, like a lot of people, they lean on this, and I was leaning on this too until I found an error in it. There's an error with this. Yes, it's the NNA. Yeah, right there you see NNA, NNA, and I explained to you what I'm talking about. Okay, so with the so when you get the hotline membership with the NNA, it comes with access to a lot of their resources, and to me they have some great resources. They really do. So when you are in here and you go to the knowledge center and you go down to laws and resources, you have all of this stuff. So you got this here about new notary laws. Hope it didn't log me out because it's been sitting there for a while. Okay. So you got new notary laws. I'll just pull up Virginia and I'll do 2025. And this is actually my first time doing this. So House Bill 59 index regulations withdrawals must be noted. Okay, so that's a new law. I don't know what all that means. Okay. So you have that. Then you have this one, states notary laws. You got a law tracker and all of that. So this here shows you your state's notary laws. Okay. Appointments. And let me zoom this in a little bit more. All right. So this is notary laws uses how to. This here talks about what an acknowledgement is. This is very, very small. There we go. Acknowledgement means a notarial act in which the individual at a single time and place appears in person before the notary and presents a document, is personally known to the notary or identified by the notary through satisfactory evidence of identity, and it indicates to the notary that the signature on the document was voluntarily affixed, and indicates to the notary that and by the individual for the purposes stated within the document, and if applicable, that the individual had due authority to sign in a particular representative capacity. Affirmation means a notarial act or part thereof that is legally equivalent to an oath, and in which an individual at a single time and place appears in person before the notary and presents a document, is personally known to the notary or identified by the notary through satisfactory evidence of identity, and makes a vow of truthfulness or fidelity on penalty of perjury. So people come a lot of times saying, I don't know what an acknowledgement is. If you look into your handbook, look up your notary law, right there, that tells you what it is. Now, here's the question. Let me come back to y'all for a quick second. Here's a question. If after reading that, you still don't understand what it is, now you got to dissect that. It's like, what part don't I know, understand? What is it that I don't understand? Because sometimes we understand it, but we got in the back of our mind, we're expecting it to mean something else, or we're expecting the definition that's given to us to read in a certain way. And it's like, and then if your ability to understand and comprehend is not to the level that it should be as an adult, it could be difficult for you to understand it. I'm just being real with you. But that right there tells me for Virginia, this is dot dot dot. Now, let me show y'all something, and I'm gonna show y'all what I mean by, and we'll go back to the NNA thing. So in the NNA, in this here, okay, I'm gonna hold that right there for a second. So that area, hopefully, the area that is highlighted where it talks about do not assist others with legal matters. Okay. Now you saw that's a very short paragraph. Now this is what it reads out of the NNA handbook. Do not assist, called the unauthorized practice of law. Do not assist others with legal matters. As a ministerial officer, a non-attorney notary is not permitted to assist other persons in drafting, preparing, selecting, completing, or understanding a document or transaction requiring a notarial act. That's what it says in here. Okay. And then it gives a reference of COV 47.1 5, I mean dash 15. That's the COV stands for Code of Virginia. So if you see right there, Code of Virginia, that's the reference point. Ooh, but I got dark. That's the reference point in which it comes from. So one day I went and looked it up. And guess what I found out? That there was more information. See, 47.1 15, prohibition, things that a notary shall not do. Okay. A notary shall not, dot, dot, dot. And then it gets here. Okay. It gets here. I'm going to leave it blue so y'all can really see it clear. Let me see if I can zoom in. There we go. It says a non-attorney notary shall not assist another person in drafting, completing, selecting, or understanding a document or transaction requiring a notarial act. This section does not preclude a notary who is duly qualified. See, that part isn't in the primer. And I'm explaining to you why that could be a problem, or why it is a problem, in my opinion. So it's telling me here, this section does not preclude. We know what the word preclude means. Hold on, let me do something real quick. Okay, have to do this here. Preclude means to prevent something from happening or to make it impossible. Okay, it is a formal word often used in legal or academic context. Okay, so I got to define words now. Got this is how you learn. Okay, so we know preclude. Okay, so this section does not preclude a notary who is duly qualified. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do this. This is just, please stick with me. I know people are like, man, this is boring. This is not boring. This is how you keep your hind parts out of trouble. A phrase duly qualified means a person that has met all the necessary requirements and qualifications to perform a specific task or hold a particular position. It implies that a person is legally authorized and competent to do so. Okay. Okay. So that's what this means. A duly qualified attorney will represent a defendant in court. A duly qualified notary public witness the signing of a document. Now and I didn't research these words. I'm doing it right along with y'all right here. So what does this mean? So the point that I'm making here is this. If it's saying it says this section does not preclude, does not stop a notary who is duly qualified, trained, or experienced in a particular industry or professional field from selecting, drafting, completing, or advising on a document or certificate related to a matter within the industry or field, or prevent a notary from adding a notarial certificate or an electronic notarial certificate to a paper or electronic document at the direction of a principal or lawful authority. So let's define that. Let's define that. Follow me, y'all. Follow me. A principal or lawful authority is a phrase used to describe a person or entity that has the legal right to make decisions or take actions on behalf of another. This could include a legal authority, a designated authority, a principal, so forth and so on. Okay. So, yes, we're getting down into the weeds a little bit here, but follow me. The point that I'm making here is this. A lot of people are told to try to guide people through the documents. If the training that you're taking that's telling you to do that does not meet the requirements of your state, you can't do it. So does your state recognize the training that you're taking as you being duly qualified and trained and experienced in that industry? So what industry are we talking about? The mortgage industry. So have you taken training to be duly qualified and trained in this? Now, just because the person who is a trainer was an escrow officer, loan officer, settlement agent, does not mean that they're training you to the level and degree that your state would recognize. And then it's telling you here that while you are actually selecting, drafting, completing, or advising on a document, it should be at the direction of a principal and lawful authority, meaning there should be somebody over the notary who really has the authority. In other words, if an attorney or whoever, or a settlement agent, or somebody who is the principal or lawful authority in that realm giving you guidance, they should, in other words, they need to oversee it. They need to oversee you doing this. And if you're at the table by yourself, who is there? Who is there at the table helping you? Who's overseeing it? Nobody. So here you are and took so-and-so's course. And they said, oh yeah, point this out and point that out. And you can tell them the who and the what and the where and not the why and all of that kind of stuff. But is that what your state said? So if you understand your law, and this is just Virginia, this is Virginia. Me understanding that and my understanding and interpretation of that is that if I ain't properly trained, qualified, this, that, and the other, I need not to do it. It's that simple. Unless I'm doing it under the guidance of somebody and I've been trained properly to do it. If I don't have the experience and all of that, that my state would recognize, or at least the entity that I'm doing this closing for, or this notarization for, recognize that I should not be going across that. Give me your thoughts in the comment section. I know that I'm running my mouth. Feel free to ask questions. If you any questions pop up in your head about this, let me know. And I'm gonna pull up because somebody asked me for New York and Florida. So we're gonna look at New York and Florida too. We're gonna look up their notary laws. But I just wanted to show y'all this. This is why I'm the way I am when it comes to this. Okay. And to this date, no one has shared with me, none of these trainers, mentors, or coaches have come out publicly at least and said, okay, Griff, I hear what you're saying, but this is where you're incorrect at. Now, some of them may not want to do that because they think I'm going to be argumentative. I would debate with them about it. I will push because that's what we should do. Because if you're not in my state, then and you're telling me that I'm wrong, okay, then show me where I'm wrong at. To me, that was grown people do. You don't have to get mean and nasty and call folk names and all of that kind of stuff, but you should at least be able to have a decent dialogue because if you're training people to do stuff, then let's train them correctly. Okay. Give me your thoughts on that. Give me your thoughts, whether you're from Virginia or not. Okay. So let me share this with y'all. All right. So going back to what the heck the NNA. All right. So let's go back to the NNA. Now, the NNA has a thing on it called the U.S. Notary Reference. And it has a U.S. Notary Reference that goes over a wide variety of stuff. So in that U.S. reference, the U.S. reference, and this was last updated September 2018, September 18, 2024. Okay, good. They said it takes 49 minutes to read this. Woo. So as I had gone through this here, this talks about everything. Tells you all the stuff. Course exam not required. Applicant must do this, that, and the other. The price, background screening not required. Oath and certification at the court. All of that. Non-residents, may be appointed. Such and such. Reappointment. Notary commission requirement. All of that. Okay. Online search, verifying the notary public, all of that good stuff. Okay. Bonds not required. Change of status. Okay. So this is breaking everything down, helping you to understand all of that, in-person notarizations, all of that, definition, acknowledgement, what we covered earlier, and then it's giving you the reference where it comes from. Now, one of the things, and let me keep going, and then here it talks about safe deposit opens upon expiration. This is what a notary can do, so it gives you guidelines on that. Um, Standard of practice. So if you are confused about anything, stop running to your TMC, trainer, mentor, coach. Go to the NNA. If you have to, just for 1 year, get their membership, and you use this here to really dig down deep. Okay. Talks about satisfactory evidence of identifying person. So, like right here, we saw it kept saying satisfactory evidence. Satisfactory evidence identity means identification of an individual based on examining one or more of the following unexpired documents bearing a photographic image of the individual's face and signature, a U.S. passport book, a U.S. passport card, a certificate of United States citizenship, a certificate of naturalization, a foreign passport, an alien registration card with photograph, a state issued driver's license, or a state issued identification card, a U.S. military card, or oath of affirmation of one credible witness unaffected by the document transaction, unaffected by the document or transaction who is personally known to the notary and who knows the individual, or two credible witnesses unaffected by the transact document or transaction who each knows the individual. So if the one credible witness does not know, me and that person does not know each other, then they need two. Okay, this is what it's saying. In that case, you see what I'm saying? So this is saying everything. Credible witness means an honest, reliable, and impartial person who personally knows an individual appearing before the notary and takes an oath or affirmation from the notary to confirm that individual's identity. So let me come back to y'all. So this is why it's important when that person has two different names, Mary Jones and Mary Smith. If you're notarizing the signature of both of them, then did they provide you proper ID for both of those? No, we only got ID for Mary Smith. Okay, then what about Mary Jones? Credible witness. Use a credible witness. Do you know her as this? Or do you two, because I don't know you, so do you two under oath can attest that you know her as Mary Jones? Yes, we can. And you have to get somebody who is impartial and is not going to be a beneficiary of that transaction or that document, i.e., will, power of attorney, etc., 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 as you Brennan will say. So that's what you have to do. See, you learn this stuff when you take time out and read. If you're all about just trying to make the money, you're not going to do that. You're going to get caught up in, oh, well, I just need to hear make that money. And then you'll be signing off on stuff. And there are companies out there who will ask you to do things that are completely illegal in accordance with your state law. It might be legal in their state, but it's not legal in yours. And you need to be able to know. Now, as the title says, knowing your notary laws can save your business. Because if you understand what your notary laws are, and you can stand 10 toes down and be like, no, this is what our notary laws are. I'm not, this is what it means. This is how I understand this. This is what it is, what credible witness. And they're like, well, all you need is one. No, or you can take my word for it, or let the real estate agent be the credible witness. The real estate agent benefits from the transaction. So therefore they're not impartial. You see, they're not impartial from this. So this is why you have to be mindful and careful behind all of this here. So let me scroll down to something else. Um, Hold on one second. And any questions that y'all got, feel free to drop in any questions that you got. So this here, okay. So this section here, zoom this in a little bit more. Where is it? Oh, snap. I lost it already. Okay. Y'all should be able to see it. So it says here, every notarial act must include the following 7 items for Virginia. Okay. For Virginia. There we go. For Virginia, a notarial statement, the date, the location, i.e., venue, expiration of my commission, my signature, my registration number, photographically reproducible stamp or seal. That's what it's saying. And that's what we're supposed to have. So a notarial act should be every notarization shall include every shall include the date, all of that, and then it gives some examples, okay, of that. Corporate representative, all of that. So now from this, now you get a better idea of what you can and can't do. So if somebody's asking you to do something and they're getting upset because you changed the notarial certificate. Well, the certificate did not have what my state said it should have. And if you understand your notary laws, you lean on it and say, here's what my notary law says, and I cannot do that. You see what I'm saying? So, and then you mirror that with what your book says. I'm just trying to make sure. So, all right. Any questions? Any questions or concerns? Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to notary state laws. All right. So let's pull up New York. Somebody asked me to do New York. Okay, so let's do New York. I don't know what I'm looking for here with New York. All right. Safe deposit box, all of that. I don't know where. Talks about fees and payments. And if the person who wanted me to go into New York, if there's something specific, let me know. Certificates. So this here says, talks about what a notary public is allowed to do. Talks about if a notary public who is an attorney at law regularly admitted, okay, notary public commission acting without appointment, fraud in office. So if you've not been properly appointed, advertising by notary publics, okay, see, we don't have that in Virginia. So the provisions of this section shall apply to attorneys at law admitted, okay. So a notary public who advertises his or her service as a notary public in a language other than English shall post ... So it tells you I am not an attorney licensed to practice law and may not give legal advice about immigration, so forth and so on. So, okay, cool. Electronic notarizations, all of that. So let me go pull up the US reference for that. Any questions, concerns that you have? So, and I tend to like the US reference because all right. So notary bond, this says notary seal not required. So if you anybody from New York, let me know if that's correct. This is saying a bond is not required, a seal is not required, journal is required. Registration. I'm just trying to see status. All right. So here it talks about what y'all can and can't do, taking oath and and taking acknowledgments and proofs, administering oaths affirmations. Talks about the definition, taking an acknowledgement, and let's zoom in just a little bit. So here it's saying acknowledgement. Taking an acknowledgement is defined as the act of a person named in an instrument telling the notary that he or she is the person named in the instrument and acknowledging that he or she executed such instrument. Also includes the act of the notary public in obtaining satisfactory evidence of the identity of the person whose acknowledgement is taken. A formal declaration before a duty authorized officer by a person who has executed the instrument that such execution is his act or deed. When executing an instrument, dot, 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 requirements, definition, proof. So this here, I like this. The oath is a definition of verbiage pledge given by a person taking a statement are made under the immediate sense of his responsibility to God, who will punish the affiant if the statement is false. Woo. Wow, that's deep there. Then affirmation is defined as a solemn declaration made by a person who conscientiously declined taking an oath, and it is equivalent to an oath and is just as binding if a person has religious or conscientious scruples against taking an oath. The notary public should perform the person's affirmation. So this here is giving you the ability, whether it's affirmation for their belief in God or non-belief in God. I mean, this is good. So if you are a New York notary, you need to be into this reference, as well as, and this is probably New York Notary Public something. I don't know. It's that's a reference to the book that y'all Notary Public book. So I like this. I mean, this here is breaking it down. So, like here's talking about with the oath and affirmation said, a notary public does not fulfill his duty by merely asking a person whether the signature on a purported affidavit is his. An oath must be administered. That is important because it's telling you you have to administer the oath. So you just can't have somebody say, "Yeah, that's my signature." You have to administer the oath. That's what it's telling you to do. Privileges and rights of a notary public. Okay, affidavits, all of that, depositions. This is going to help you to understand what you're supposed to be doing and not doing. So when you have a title company or a signing company or a lender that's asking you to do something that's outside of the scope of what you're supposed to be doing, how would you know that if you don't take time out to learn? It's no different than what you would do at your job, your W-2. If somebody said you know the handbook says dress down Friday, dress down day is on Friday. So we got relaxed work clothes on Friday. You can come in with your jeans on and this, that, and the other. But somebody said, "Well, I'm doing it on Wednesday." You're gonna be like, "No, but the handbook says I don't care about what I'm doing it." You're not going to do it because you know what the handbook says. The reason why notaries get caught up in stuff is because they don't know what they should and shouldn't be doing, and you're not taking time out. Now, why aren't you taking time out? You're probably overstimulated with trying to get $10,000 a month. You're over focused on having 5 or 6 different businesses, and you can't focus on any one thing. Now, do I know everything there is about in the reference and in the handbook? I'll be honest with you, no. But I know that I need to lean on that and need to do the research and check and figure out, is what I'm being asked to do in accordance with my state law? If it is, I do it all day, every day. If it's not, I just got to inform them that it's not. Will I lose money? Yes. But what's more important, losing your commission, getting put in jail, or losing $100 or even $200? Which one is more important to you? So I had to ask myself that, because if I want to do this full time, and even if I want to do it part time, the end of the day, I don't want to get in trouble whether I'm doing it full time or part time, because the trouble you get into isn't measured by whether you're doing it full time or part time. It's measured by the fact that you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing. You get what I'm saying? So I know it's been quiet in the chat. Are there any questions? And good to see you here, Tracy. Good to see you here. Are there any questions? And I know I wasn't looking for this to be an excitable Fritter Friday, me doing my normal rants and all of that. This is the educational Fritter Friday, because so many notaries out here just focused and stuck on trying to understand the individual documents. And just like there's all kinds of different variations of notary laws, there's variations of documents, and you got to understand the basics of what you're supposed to be doing in this role, which is notarizing the signatures once you have satisfactory proof of identity. What's the evidence? What are you supposed to have in accordance with your state law? It's not the title company saying, "Oh well, I already no, they're good because I looked at their birth certificate. I saw her name change when she got married." That is not what my state says that I'm supposed to have. Well, you can just take our word for it. No, no. Well, we just not gonna use you. Okay, cool. Because all the other notaries don't have a problem doing it. Okay, cool. And I've had those discussions, and they are hard to have. And they make you nervous, they scare you. You're like, am I going to even get any more business? But you got to stand on what's right. And what's great is when you have a signing company that understands it. What's even greater when you have a title company that understands it. What's even the best when you have a lender who understands it. They understand that you're supposed to do things right because they understand the concept of we could get audited, and if it's found out that the notary did something wrong, it can mess everything up. So, as important as our role is, we ought to be desiring and want to do it correctly. And it starts with you, it starts with me. I would love for the title company, the signing company, the lender to have more of a vested interest in making sure that they ask us to do things correctly or they refrain from asking us to do things incorrectly. But that's not necessary. I don't think that's going to happen because they're like, look, you're supposed to be the subject matter expert, but then they don't lean on us when we start being the subject matter expert and saying, hey, here's what my notary law say. Because I point these different things out and they look at me, they're like, nah, okay, I hear what you're saying, but all I know is it just needs to be done. And they defer and they deflect, but they won't accept. And then that's when things get tense because they're like, well, I just know it needs to be done. I'm not allowed to do that. So if I'm not allowed to do that, how can I do it? It's just that simple. So somebody asked me to pull up Florida. All right. I'm serious, any questions, any concerns, anything that y'all got going on. All right. So let's look at Florida real quick. Anybody from Florida in the house? So it says seal is required, journal is required. Well, it says required only for online notary acts. Okay, that's what they say. Okay. Commission, state, all of that, Tallahassee. And I grew up in Florida. Talks about your qualifications. First time application. So there's a course that y'all supposed to take. Exam not required. Um, fee is $39 and some other stuff here. Background screening not required. Online notary public. Okay. I'm surprised y'all don't have any questions. I am actually surprised. I was expecting y'all to have some questions. Let me pull down. Talks about the bond, all of that kind of stuff. Um, so this here says what you can do. Solemnize marriages. Okay. Acknowledgement. A notary public is authorized to take acknowledgments of deeds and other instruments of writing for record. So it says here the definition. It says oath and affirmations. Oh, here, I'm sorry. Acknowledgement. A notary public is authorized to take acknowledgement deed, dot, dot, dot. So that's all it says. It doesn't break that down there. The word oath includes affirmations. So whether an oath shall be required by any law in this state in any proceeding, an affirmation may be substituted therefore. Okay, notary public may administer an oath and make a certificate thereof when it's necessary for the execution of any writing or document to be published under the seal of the notary public. Declaration in lieu of oath. Some cases, the signed declaration may substitute for a notarized oath if it contains the language under penalties of perjury. All of that. So again, I like this kind of stuff because it's helping me to understand what I should and shouldn't be doing. This here says technically a juror is simply another term for an oath or affirmation that is authorized to be administered by a notary public. And I guess FS probably stands for Florida statute and administered to an individual who signs a document and swears or affirms as true the statements made in the document or certificate of the notarial act for an oath or affirmation. copy certifications, all of that. So then it talks about marriages, how you go about doing that, the requirements, vehicle identification number. See, in Virginia, they don't have this here. They don't have that vehicle, how to handle that. So Florida, if you need to read this so you can know what to do, safe deposit box, all of that. So if you are trying to move forward in this business, you really need to take time out and learn your notary laws. So when I read the primer, I've glanced through the US primer. What is this? Yeah, the Virginia notary primer, and I've read through somewhat of the primer here, the US primer. I refer back to the Code of Virginia and I look it up. If they put a reference in there, I go back and I read the whole section so that I can have a clearer understanding of what it means. Once I do that, then I'm like, okay, now I know what to do. Because see, where to me the issue is with the somebody got fireworks out there with the primer and it not fully saying everything that duly qualified and everything. Somebody who is duly qualified based off of what the primer says, they might not realize that they could actually do what the primer is telling them they can't do. So it's telling you if you are in this position, you can't do it, but it's not telling you the other side that it doesn't preclude this section doesn't preclude a notary who is in this role and capacity. That's a whole nother thing, which could be a whole nother stream of revenue for you. Because if you have the ability to do that, then you probably can charge more for your services because you are in a particular category. But if you're not in that category, and maybe that's probably if the people are looking for us to be in a non-attorney category, not to really explain and break down the documents, then they're going to pay us based on that. If I want you to do more with the transaction, then I should pay you more. So when a notary is asking for more money, the question then is, why? What for? What are we getting out of this? Because all we need you to do is these things here, and they don't require you to be getting paid $150 to do them. Let's see what she said. What are the actual differences? What are the actual differences a signing agent would experience when comparing attorney states to non-attorney states? I'm in North Carolina. Um, Basically, from my understanding, an attorney state is that the attorney is required by law to express certain things to the people who are buying, selling, or refinancing that property and letting them know, from what I've heard the attorney say, basically letting them know if you don't pay your bill, we're going to snatch the house from you. That the promissory note is attached to the deed or the mortgage, and if you don't pay it, we're going to snatch the house from you. That's my understanding. The main difference that I hear from attorney state, because a non-attorney state, I guess that will be considered intuitive that you know that if you don't pay your bill, you're going to get it taken away from you. But in like Connecticut and North Carolina, Georgia, they actually articulate that. They get on the phone with me and they do that. Or if they're in person in those states, they will tell them face to face, here's the consequences of you not meeting your obligation. That's primarily it. They have to tell them that, and an attorney has to be the one to tell them that. Virginia, that's not required. Although there's some trainers out there that keep saying Virginia's an attorney state, but I've yet to see them provide actual proof of that. Virginia is not an attorney state. So it gets difficult for you. Oh, and then the attorney state part, the attorney aspect of it is primarily for properties in that state. If you're outside of that state if you're doing a closing for a property outside of that state, you more likely you don't need an attorney around for that. So therefore, when you're marketing yourself and you're on SnapDocs and all of those, if they're if you're getting orders through SnapDocs, Signature Close, it's more likely for a property that is not in that state. And if you are, cool, that's cool, but you still would need that attorney there. I hope that answered the question. It says, but again, I just finished. I had five signing. Way to go, Gracie. Way to go. Butterfly notary. I like that. Way to go. So, is anything clearer? Help me understand. I'm serious. Articulate to me, is anything clearer based on what I shared tonight? Okay, because I wasn't going to try to get deep into the participles of notary law unless somebody had a specific question and could tell me where in the, like in my state law it says this. Then more depth I'll go to it and let's take a look at it and see if we can define it and break it down. But did this make anything clearer for you, or did it muddy up stuff for you? And then I'll be more than happy to find a way to help you to unmuddy it. Me reading these things clarified so much. And one of the things it clarified is that there are a lot of people in this industry that don't know nothing about proper notarial law. I'm serious. That's what it proved to me right off the bat. I know sometimes the notifications don't go out. Don't know why. YouTube has been doing that for years. They're very selective in that the notification going out, and I don't know why. So I'm glad you are here and everything. So if you got any questions, feel free to ask. And if you got any um what you call it, go back and look at the replay. It says, thanks. Yes, I had no idea what attorney state actually meant, practically speaking. Good. Yeah, that's all. Let me do something here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. And see, this is how easy it is. So, an attorney state said, what is an attorney state? An attorney state is a state where attorneys are involved in the real estate closing process. All involvement can depend on the specific state. Attorney present states. In some states, an attorney must be present during the closing, but they don't necessarily have to handle the entire transaction. Attorney state only. In these states, attorneys are required to handle the entire closing, including title examination, document preparation, and disbursement of funds. Attorney states typically, and see, this is where they keep saying, where are they getting this from? Because Virginia, I've never had, I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research on this. Attorney state. I got to do some research on this because people keep saying we are an attorney state, and I've never had an attorney required to be there. Now, if they're saying we are an attorney only state from the standpoint that the attorneys handle this part, but a lot of times the title companies do it. So I gotta, I know who I'm gonna call. There's a lady that works at a title office. I'm gonna call her, and I promise y'all by next Wednesday, I will definitely have an answer. I will definitely have an answer. So attorney states typically have more complex real estate closing procedures compared to states where title companies handle the closing. This is because attorneys are involved in more aspects of it. It's a question: do you think the signing company have different tiers of pay and send out to notifications? You know what? They could, and there's nothing that says they can't. I've suggested that they do. I've suggested that a signing, I would put it this way: if I was running a signing company for, okay, my man said, no, we are not an attorney state. Yeah, I don't know what is making people keep saying that, and all of that, but yeah, I don't know why they keep saying that. I don't know why. But I can see doing Where am I at? There we go. I can see doing a tier system. The reason why I can see doing a tier system is because it can motivate the new notaries to get their act together. The way I would do it is the order is, let's just say the order is for 85. I'm gonna pay you 70. You do 3 closings, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna make sure you get 3 closings. As a new notary, I'm gonna get 3 closings and I'm gonna pay you $70. You do those 3 closings correct, I'll move you up to 80. You do those next 3 correct, and I'll move you up to 85. You're making money. You're showing me that you are able to follow directions and attention to detail. And matter of fact, I could do it this way. If you do the 6 signings correctly, I'll give you the bonus of what you could have made. That which you didn't make, I will give it to you as a bonus. There's nothing wrong with doing that. A company could actually do that. It's a way of getting the person to focus. Because see, when you got somebody that's like, "Ooh, I'm making all this money," they just happy they thinking that okay, the check gonna get stroked no matter what I do. But if you realize that I can't get the full pay until I've proven myself, and then for those notaries who have done right, I think they should get paid more. You can do that. I don't see if you've been working and you've proven to me that you can do this here and do it correctly, then I don't see a reason why the signing company can't say, hey, when we get these notaries, we're gonna pay them $100. Which means I gotta get my act together as a signing company to bump up to where I can say, instead of paying me 150, I need you to pay me 225. He said that's what I do when selling cars. Yeah. So I could see bumping it up, you know. I don't see a reason why not. It said, and 3 certain companies sending out texts as soon as I hit yes, I automatically get the job. So I noticed that my notifications are is it higher pay from the same company or from newer companies? Because there are times where as you do work and you get more experience, new companies come into the mix and they start giving you an opportunity. So once you hit 20, once you hit 50, once you hit 75, once you hit 110, there's companies that automatically start sending you notifications out who pay higher fees because you have so much experience. Same company. That could be the case. That could be their business model. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, due to the fact that you are not an employee, they're not going to disclose that to you. You're an independent contractor, and they don't have to. So that's why I say sometimes it's just best to take what they offer because more than likely it's going to be better than $0. And if you are in a point where you're like, to do this here is going to be a negative for me. In other words, if somebody's offering you $90 to do a closing, if every time you go to do a $90 closing, the end result is that it's a negative dollar amount for you, then maybe you need to reevaluate the way you do the business. Why is it costing you? Why is it a negative? Maybe the way you are calculating the level of effort and you're calculating things wrong. So if you're trying to calculate it as if it's a W-2 job, meaning you want to get paid for every minute you work, rather than they're paying you for the task that you perform, but that's really what it is. They're paying you for the task that you perform. Because if they were paying you for the task that you performed in your W-2, you wouldn't be making a dime. Because many of you ain't doing jack in your job at work. You're not doing nothing. You're sitting there smoking every 10 minutes on the internet, chit chatting, taking 4 and 5 lunches, 3 and 5 snacks, taking naps. So you're getting paid for the hours that you bring your body to a particular location, that's what you're getting paid for. If you actually got paid for the task that you do and complete, I guarantee you'd be like, oh man, I ain't making no money. Looking at Amazon at work. That is correct. So you're doing all of this stuff. So you're not getting paid for the task. See, this is the difference. What we're doing now as notaries, we're getting paid for the actual task of doing the real estate closing, the estate planning, so forth and so on. That's what we're getting paid for. You are trying to get paid for every minute that you are putting forth the effort to do the task, and your pay to be based off of every minute that you put into doing the task, and that's not how they are valuing it. They don't value what they're paying, what they're asking you to do based on the number of hours it takes. They're not, because the number of hours it takes for us to do this versus the number of hours it has taken them to put it all together doesn't compare. Our hour base is much lower than theirs, way much lower. And our expense is way lower than the title company and the lender. The lender is the one sitting up there at 10 o'clock at night talking to the customer and convincing them that this is a good deal. The real estate agent, all of that. You see what I'm saying? You say, I heard you say, I once heard you say, accept all the jobs no matter what the pay is. And that hit me and I adopted what you said. Yeah, because we do that in our W 2. You accept the job. Okay, you come out and you tell your kids that, yeah, I know you just finished graduating school, you got a master's degree, but look, this is the only job that's available to you right now. You got this entry level job. I know it's like three layers below a mailroom clerk, but if you work hard, you can move your way up. We remember the movie, the phrase from the scene from Coming to America, where the guy was like, "Yeah, I started here, and next I'll be on fries." Life is about starting one place and moving up. The biggest issue that most people have coming into this business, and it's primarily because of the trainers, mentors, and coaches that's out here, is that they're making you think that you can come in at the top. So to them, the top of the game in this business is making $150 per signing, and you're working direct with a title company. Anything other than that, you're in the gutter. You're in the barrio. You are in the straight ghetto. You are in a trailer park. You are homeless. You are on the street begging for work. If you're not direct and making at least 150 per signing, and you're getting 15 signings a week and all of that. If you're not doing that, they consider that you being a failure. That's what I've heard. That's what I've seen. So everybody's trying to be direct, but there's not enough direct work out there for everybody. That's where the problem comes in at. It's just not enough work. And feel free to ask your questions about anything else. I think we've covered the notary law stuff good enough here. And if you got questions about the notary law stuff, feel free to drop them in there. But that's the thing. To me, it's common sense. It's just straight common sense. So this is how I'm learning, and I have learned. I'm using technology to help me to understand what it is I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm trying, that's what I'm doing. So mm, hold on. It's saying all of these are some example of attorney states. Let me see. Where are they getting this from? Is Virginia an attorney state or a title state? Where hit them up and be like, where do y'all get this information from? Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hit somebody up and figure this out. But this is what people are saying, you know. And then this one is saying the NNA is saying that. And see, states that require attorney involvement or where an attorney involvement is customary: Connecticut, Delaware, Georgia, Massachusetts, South Carolina, Vermont, and West Virginia. And then in Illinois, New Jersey, North Carolina, Ohio, attorney involvement in a real estate closing may be customary. So I understand why people are confused out there because there's a lot of misleading information. This is why we got to do our own research, and this is why you got to ask questions of the people who are telling you, "Oh, it's this, it's that," and there's nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, there's a replay. Yeah, yeah, you can. Yeah, once this is over, it'll replay. So, the bottom line is, it is our responsibility, but I also feel it's the responsibility of people who claim that they want to teach you to properly disclose to you. And I still feel that you need to make sure you understand and learn your notary laws first before worrying about marketing, before worrying about trying to hop out there and you don't know what the heck you're doing. If you don't know what the heck you're doing, then you need not to be jumping out there saying, hey, hit me up. Because it would be cool to do that if you had somebody that you could depend on to help you understand what you're supposed to be doing. But it's sort of foolish, in my opinion, to take on a job and then you're calling another notary while you're supposed to be notarizing and saying, "Can you tell me how to notarize this? Can you tell me? I just snuck a picture with my other phone. Can you tell me what am I supposed to put here, there, and everywhere?" You should take the time out to learn that ahead of time. If you do, you'll be the better for it. If you won't, you're going to be embarrassed by it. It's just that simple. So, and I will admit, I didn't fully know everything, but I quickly realized that I need to. And then I started doing my own research. I started talking to people, started asking questions, started questioning what was being told. And then I started finding out the truth. And that's all I want for y'all to do. Find out the truth, and I think you'll be okay. You truly will. So we've been on for about an hour and 15 minutes. I'm gonna end it there. It's 10:37. Plus I got three closings tomorrow, and one of them's at 7:30 in the morning. So I've already printed the documents for that, but I gotta prep them and then print the other two sets out and get ready to do it. So, is there any other questions, comments, observations, so forth and so on? I hope this was helpful. If it was, please hit the like button. What we got here? How many likes we got? 17 likes. Cool. Okay. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. Feel free to share this video. Again, in some of the Facebook groups and other groups, they might they might get mad at you for sharing my videos. I'm not trying to talk much. I'm just telling you because people have gotten fussed at. They don't like what I say because I'm not pushing make money, make money, make money. I am pushing do things right so you can keep making money. Because once you get started making money, now the eyes want to be on: are you doing it right? What are you doing wrong? What are you messing up? Oh, okay. That's what you need. That's what's going to happen. So as long as you're doing it right, I'm telling you, you will make plenty of money in this business, and you will learn. The moment you start actively doing the closings, you're going to be like, boom! It's just like a shell slime or whatever, just whatever's cocooning you in. It's just going to come up. You're going to be like, oh, now I see. Got it. Bet. No problem. I'm on it. And it's just going to give you a whole nother level of confidence. but don't be discouraged. Okay. Notifications don't always come in like you want, but when they do, take advantage of them. Sometimes people take care of you. And yes, and people have passed on information to me, and it's panning out. I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting more orders from these people. And then I hook people up with stuff. That's what it's all about, taking care of one another. But you got to start. Okay. You say, I will soon need to do a car rental since my, yeah. Um, yeah. You find a way to get it done. If you're gonna rent a car, rent it for a month at a time. If you got AAA, Hertz gives good discounts for AAA. Enterprise doesn't give any discounts. So check Hertz, check Avis, check Budget, check all of them for the price, and sign up for their rewards, and you should be okay. All right. So y'all have a good one. I want to thank y'all for hopping on tonight, and yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to think of anything else. Nope, nothing else. Y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all later. Peace.